Hey folks, my name is William Henry McHugh, but my friends call me Bamboo. It was a nickname given to me in the Northern Marianas Islands by my friends over there because I'm tall and skinny, and it's a lot better than hey you or skinny. But I didn't grow up there. I grew up in Minnesota, and I love the water over there. And then, but I finished high school and college in Nebraska. After I finished college, I moved to Montana. I moved to Wisconsin for 6 months. I moved to Arizona for about a year. I moved back to Nebraska, and then I moved to Florida. And while I was in Florida, I built aquariums for wealthy people and for dentist offices and such like that. But I knew very shortly that I didn't want to be in the aquarium. I wanted to be in the aquarium. And so I moved to St. Thomas, and I worked for Virgin's Diving School. They took the tourists off the cruise ships snorkeling and scuba diving. I became a dive instructor there, then I became the head instructor over there, then I became the beach manager, and finally I was the tour manager. But there was not much room for me to move there, and after a year and a half I left St. Thomas, and I moved to Saipan in the Northern Marianas Islands, where I worked for a resort over there on a 6-month contract, doing the same thing I did in St. Thomas, which was taking people who had never been scuba diving before, scuba diving, but now it was with Japanese instead. And so I had to learn Japanese, which I did. I did that in Saipan and finished my 6-month contract, and then I went to Guam and did that for about a year and a half there. Guam had a big earthquake, an 8.2 earthquake. So I went to Palau in that time because the airport was affected, and it was like coming home. I love Palau. It was amazing. I worked for Sam. I ended up working for Sam Scott in Sam's Tours, and when I worked for him, he had 3 boats, and now he's probably got about 10. He became a very good friend of mine, and I saw some of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life there. I went to just a half degree above the equator to Helen's Reef, which is 300 miles south of the main Hawaiian Islands. I was making $30 a day, and $6 was taken out by taxes, and the rest of it was I ended up buying beer, so, like any young man would. So I went back to Saipan after getting my captain's license on Guam, and I drove a parasailing boat over there. But shortly after driving the parasailing boat, I realized I wanted to go fishing. From what I saw and growing up in Minnesota fishing myself as a young man, and then diving around in those other places, I knew I wanted to fish. And so I started driving deep sea fishing boats. And after a short period of time, I won the Saipan International Fishing Derby. Fishermen are well respected in Micronesia, and I was also. It was great. I went to the islands north of Saipan because the Marianas Islands are a chain that's over 400 miles long. It's amazing what's up there. Only 3 of the islands are basically inhabited. I stayed in Saipan from about 92 until about 2001, but I left at times. I went to Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands, and that was incredible. I mean, the amount of life there was insane. I took a picture of myself like this, and there must have been 500 sharks on the surface right there. I left there and went back to Saipan. I went and did 6 months in Costa Rica, sail fishing over there for a friend of mine. And I lived in the jungle and drove one of the boats over there. That was incredible also. I went back to Saipan, worked some more. I made some money. I lived like a rock star's poor brother. It was great. I was single and traveling around fishing and diving. I saw some of the most incredible things in the world in Micronesia. I got a job offer in Midway Atoll in their fishing and diving operation. I was doing sport fishing. So I went over there, and Midway's a very remote place, and it was incredible also. I did 2 seasons in Midway, and in the off season, I went down to Panama. I got a job offer down there, and I worked for Tropic Star Lodge down there. I was the dock master down there. I met my wife down there. I searched all over the planet, and she was right there. So anyways, Midway had closed, and there was not really a future in Panama. I couldn't make a lot of money, and so I had to move back to the United States after almost a decade abroad. I didn't know what to do, so I moved up to Palm Beach County. I figured I got to get a job somehow in the fishing boats over there or something. And I didn't. It's a very tough industry to crack. Instead, what I did is I worked for Viking Yachts, and I was a mechanic and a captain driving the boats around there. But for the last I worked for them for 3 years. The last 6 years, I've been driving a 65-foot sport fishing boat. It's based here in Singer Island in Florida in the winter, and then in the summer we go up to New York. In the last 6 summers, I've caught between 250 and 300 sharks on the boat, and we've only killed 4. The last captain was a kill everything type of guy, and I've moved my people from kill everything to respecting what's in the water, because basically, if I'm not a leader in that aspect, my children and the rest of the world will never be able to see what I've seen. And so I have to take the steps. Oh crap. Sorry guys, a little bit windy. You know this is unedited. I have to take the steps as in my position to be able to give the rest of my children the opportunities that I've had and to see the incredible things that I've seen. Now, while I was in Saipan, as a respected fisherman, two of the people that I kind of worked with and fished with, one is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and now he became the Lieutenant Governor, and now he's back in the House of Representatives. The other was another politician high up. When Hawaii banned the sale, trade, and possession of shark fins, I called Diego Benavente in the Marianas Islands, and I asked him to introduce similar legislation, and he did so. And now I've got a Facebook page about that, and it's already, that legislation has passed the House of Representatives, and now it's on to the Senate. We need to take steps like that, like I've done, moving my people from killing everything to conserving. We need to take steps as ourselves, and I need to be a leader in taking those steps and telling other people what's going on and how and what I've seen underwater. And that's why this is an excellent opportunity for me to kind of move that agenda forward. Now, I kill fish. That's what I do. But I don't do it a lot, and we have to maintain a conservation ethic while we do it. We can't go to extremes where you got to close out everything, and we can't go to the other extreme where you kill everything. There's middle ground in there, and if you're intelligent and you think about it, we can find that middle ground so we can use things but not abuse them. Thank you very much for your time.